right, so let's hop right in. We have a couple of different opportunities for Progressive. Yes, Progressive, the insurance company with my girl Flo. And we are going to, of course, talk about, the salary. We will do a resume breakdown. I always do those demonstrations, and everything that I do in the video, I make it available to you in your resume library for those of you that are subscribed to that. And we are actually going to do something different. I'm going to go over the interview questions with you today, because I realize that a lot of you are like, Jazzy, it's one thing to submit a resume, but I don't know how to prepare for that interview. So we're going to talk about interview questions as well. But first, I realized in my last video, I missed shouting out some people. So I just want to, go back and give people credit that have gotten jobs. So Nisi said that she starts with American Express on Wednesday. And I saw this a while back, like a month ago, but I forgot to shout her out. So shout out to you, Nisi. And then this beautiful young lady said, hi, Jazzy. I found you yesterday. I purchased your resume templates, completely revamped my resume, uploaded it to a job site, which I had my resume posted on for 2 weeks with no hits. And after 2 hours of uploading, I was contacted by a recruiter from ADP and asked to apply. Girl, whoa, wow. And then she came back a few days later to say, I just accepted an offer, and it's because of your information and advice I used to update my resume that got me the call that I received. So congrats to you. Oh my goodness. That just made my day when I read that. Sinks Carter said, hey girl, just wanted to say I got hired at one of the companies in your work from home hiring video. Thank you. As a single mom to be, I appreciate all of your videos. And I thought this was funny because I've shouted out Ray of Sunshine before. And she came back and told me, she said, well, I applied and had an interview scheduled for January 3rd. And then she said she actually received 2 confirmations out of the 3 jobs that she applied for. Don't play with me in these hot words. Listen, I don't give you these hot words for nothing, okay? So let's hop into these opportunities right now, because you guys, you need a job. So let's do this. Now, the first opportunity is going to be for a call center representative. Okay, so this role is going to be based around customer service, where you're supporting inquiries and insurance policy needs, where people are asking questions about their coverage, their rates, if they're having issues with submitting their payments for billing, and just general things related to what the policy offers. You may have someone that has a homeowner's policy or, an auto policy, and they're just wanting to know, how much is my deductible going to be, or when is my payment due? So what's cool about this role is it's no cold calling. Okay. You're not picking up the phone and calling random people. That's a super, super awesome thing about this particular role. So what I did want to point out is it's saying, just have 2 relevant years of work experience. Work experience could be anything from working in a call center, working in a retail setting, where maybe you worked at TJ Maxx, perhaps you worked at, some other clothing store, maybe you worked at Publix. Those things are all very, very relevant work experience. Now, this training is going to start March 2023 after the holidays, right? And the reason why I want to emphasize where it says training is because I want you all to know there's always going to be that one person that's like, Jazzy, I don't have experience. Can I still apply? And it's like, yes, they train you. Absolutely apply. Please apply. Now, they do let you work from home, obviously, and just ask that you have a cable modem with this gigabyte speed or whatever. And the computer that you use is going to be provided to you by Progressive. So this is not where you have to have your own stuff. They're going to give you the hardware for this particular role. And the pay is going to be $19.50 to $21 per hour. But what's also cool is you get an additional 10% pay raise if you work evenings or weekends. So that actually goes up to $23 per hour. And you get a bonus of up to 16% based on the company's performance. So if the company performs really, really well, and customers are happy and that sort of stuff, you get this huge bonus. Okay. And it's not 16% of one paycheck. A lot of these companies will pay out like quarterly. And I remember when I got my very, very first bonus, oh my gosh, that bonus was like $10,000. So, I don't know how much, or how often they will do their payouts, but I'm guessing that it's going to be quarterly. And of course, they've got a ton of good benefits, like so many benefits. So I wanted to show you that particular role. Please ignore where it says United States, Missouri. Okay. This is fully remote. You just have to go in to the career site and find your particular state. It actually breaks these jobs down into state by state as opposed to saying all states. So if you were to go to the career site, it's going to show you like all 50 states. So make sure that you go and apply for your actual state. This is just an example that I am showing you all. Okay. So I want to show you the next position because it's pretty similar, but I think it's probably going to be for those of you maybe that want to go into more of the sales role, if that is something that you choose, because it says for sales only. Property and casualty license is going to be required. And if you're not already licensed, you'll have an opportunity to get that license during training. So again, I want to emphasize that they 100% train you and that this is not going to be something that you have to walk in with a bunch of experience. So again, that training date is going to start in March. It might start a little bit sooner depending on just their general business needs. But these types of companies like to recruit early and go ahead and get everybody filled up on their roster because they're probably going to start sending out the equipment late January, maybe sometime in February. So it's just great to have everybody in line. This job, $21 per hour plus 10% if you work evenings or weekends. And the bonus and performance-based rewards, which are also, very, very cool. So wanted to point out that they do have parental and family leave, military leave and paid. So for those of you that have, if you're pregnant, don't ever let that discourage you from applying for a job. Like companies will give you paid maternity leave. Some of these companies will give you 3 months. Some of them will give you 6 months. So don't ever let that stop you from applying. All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to look at the resume and then we're going to do the interview questions. So let me just pull up the resume and we'll talk about the hot words because I want you to get the job. Now, I always have to give this disclaimer. Please don't lie about your experience or your skill set because you can be rejected or banned from a job. So please be honest. Don't, take this resume and use it like word for word. Okay. So some of the hot words that we actually saw mentioned, in the job description. Why did I do that? Take that out. Whoops. No color. You're just not acting right. I'll fix that later. But anyway, some of the other words that we saw, the hot words, were analytical. We saw customer service representative. We saw the word customer support. Those of you that have worked in like a call center, you can 100% add that in as a hot word, because you are going to either be helping people with like payments or insurance questions, things of that nature. So there will be some level of being on the phone. So some of the other things that they kind of mentioned, and we'll just go back here because I want to make sure that I get all of the words. One of the things that I realized is that they didn't put a whole lot of must-have qualifications down here. They mainly just kind of emphasized, having like this high school education or higher. And then they said relevant work experience. Okay, so I take that as they're being very, very lenient in not having a ton of experience. But of course, if you want to call out things like how you've worked in previous roles, maybe you did work in a billing department. Maybe you did do, like we said before, some sort of customer support. If you work in a sales role, I don't know, you could have been a cashier, it could have been working at Ross or something like that. Those are things that you may want to also call out in your resume. And so, of course, I always like to put the company's name in the summary just to tell them that, like, hey, I am enthusiastic about working here. Okay, so it's always good to call out things like if you've done chat support or email support, because those are also things that you can anticipate doing in this sort of a role. Also, escalating issues is also something that you'll probably want to call out. There will sometimes be just a situation that you're going to just have to escalate. So that's something that you will ultimately want to call out. Now, again, this resume is already created for you. It's in your library for those of you that have the ultimate resume bundle. And if you don't, you can just use the link in the description box. But let's go ahead and look at the interview questions, because that is also very, very important. All right. So a lot of you get tripped up on certain questions like tell me about yourself and talk a little bit about your experience. And some of you have job gaps in your, last few years of experience. And let me explain this to you. We have just come through a pandemic that technically we're still in, over the last 2.5 years. If you've got a year gap or a 2-year gap, it's okay. Okay. If you had to take care of a family member, say that. Don't lie and say that, don't come up with this elaborate story about why you had to not work for 2 years. Okay. Everybody gets it. We are coming out of this pandemic. If you didn't work in the past 2 years, it's fine. But all you want to do is say, yeah, I worked to take care of a family member. But while I was doing that, I still stayed on top of certain technologies. I still made sure that, I was learning something every week. I still took Udemy courses to keep my knowledge fresh. And I made sure that I still connected with people that worked in, customer service and customer support to understand the different waves of issues that, people are reporting. Something to that degree. Okay. But tell me about yourself can be answered by saying, well, my name is blah, 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 and I've worked in customer support and technical resolutions for about 5 years now. I'm originally from Orlando, but I moved here with my family 2 years ago. I'm a huge college football fan. I love talking to people, and I love problem solving. And that's pretty much what landed me here to apply for this role. And I'm super excited to learn more about it. And I really appreciate your time today. This is all you need to say. You don't need to give your life story with that sort of a question, okay? It is an icebreaker question, and it needs to just be that. Now, they may say, hey, what do you know about Progressive? And they're going to want to see if you've researched the company. So you always want to start by saying, well, I know that you are an insurance company and you are a leading provider for property, personal insurance, business insurance, home, and auto. Okay. Your head office is located in Ohio. You may want to fact check that. And you were named the #1 commercial auto insurer recently. And you've got the best TV commercials. I love my girl Flo. Okay. And that is just like a little joke at the end of it, but it obviously shows them that you're paying attention to what's happening in, their sort of insurance sector, and that you're not just watching it on TV, you're actually doing a little research to see like what other types of products they have. They may ask you who their competitors are. Some of their competitors are going to be the big, insurance names such as Nationwide, Allstate, State Farm, and Geico. Those are going to be kind of like the top 4. And then you've got, others like Farmers and stuff like that. But I would kind of just keep it simple with that particular question. And so they may ask you, why do you want to work as a customer service rep at Progressive? Or why should we hire you over the other applicants? Now, these sorts of questions can obviously vary in how you answer them, but you always want to stand out. You don't want to say, I want to work here because the pay is good, or I want to work here because I just needed a work from home job. That's not going to make anybody hire you. Okay. They're going to say, okay, thank you for your time. Don't call us. We'll call you. If they say, why do you want to work as a customer service rep at Progressive? You want to speak, and this is like no pun intended, but you want to speak progressively, as if saying that starting as a customer service rep is kind of like what you've always wanted to do, because maybe you've always wanted to work in insurance and you see this as a really great stepping stone to really take your technical experience, your passion for customers, and put them together and just really, really make a positive impact on Progressive. Another reason for saying why you want to work at Progressive is, well, you could say, you know what? My mom is actually insured with Progressive. And honestly, she had a car accident last year and it was kind of bad. But the one thing that made it better was having a really, really nice claims agent and a really, really great customer service agent that talked us through the process, that made it super easy, and that ultimately made us feel like we were valuable people. So in all honesty, I had different places that I applied for, but this is a place that I actually want to work for just because of that personal connection and just how Progressive has literally been in our family for 20 years at this point. We've used Progressive for a really long time, never had a problem, and that's the type of company that I would want to work for. So if you think about it, this is now making the manager see you as a long-term employee and see you as someone that's not just in it for a quick buck, right? Why should we hire you over other applicants? This is a great question, and I've answered it down below. And this video is already too long. Goodness, I didn't know it was this long. So I'm going to stop here. But if you need these resources, they are available for you. Please select the ultimate resume kit. If you get the generic one, this will not be available in generic. Generic means just that. It's just that. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions about any of this. But until the next time, I will see you all in the next video. Bye.